And this will be an interesting conversation and see if this factors into your percentage chances that Drake Maye, in fact, is QB3. I don't think he will be. I think it'll be closer to whether he's QB1 or not, but just for the sake of conversation here. He opts out of his bowl game. He's not going to play in the Mayo Bowl. If he had come out and said, I hate mayonnaise, I'm not playing in the bowl, I would probably respect that more. But I want to get your take because if you roll the ball out, a wise man once said, I want to see if you're going to compete. Drake Maye has chosen not to compete. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I would say that with him not being one of the big 6 games, the Mayo Bowl isn't up there in the Final Four, the other 2 major bowl games. So
it's not even in the major
although
condiment
it's pretty
bowls.
funny that you get mayonnaise dropped on your head, which I still don't understand that concept.
Nor do I.
And I hate mayonnaise. I'd be throwing up all over the place if someone dumped that much mayonnaise on my head. But I could understand maybe because he's probably a top 2 pick and it's not a major 6. So I'm leaning a little bit less hard-headed.
You're softening. You're getting soft. That's what
I'm
you're
getting
saying.
soft in this, since I've been on this side of the business where I can see the light on some of these guys, not all these guys. Power 6 game or January Big 6 game, absolutely play. Other than that, I can understand why, especially if you're going to go that high in the draft, why that he would probably consider not playing in that game.
Let me ask about one of his teammates, Des Walker, who wasn't allowed to play for the first month or so of the season because of the NCAA trying to figure things out. He did play. He was a big impact player as a wide receiver for Drake Maye. I don't know what his plans are, but I think he has accepted his Senior Bowl invite, so I'm assuming he's done playing college football, and we'll just run with that assumption for now. Does he need to play in the bowl game? Or are you more interested in, wouldn't you rather see him in the Senior Bowl or do you want both?
I want both. He hasn't played enough to get enough tape on him. So the more exposures he can get, the more he's going to enhance his value. And I understand it's a backup quarterback, but that's going to be thrown to him. But he missed a lot of the season. So you only have a small sample size of this year, maybe 6 games. So I would highly advise him to play in this game and to play in the Senior Bowl.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, I think it was the 2017 draft. I think that's when this sort of started. The Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette were the first really 2 big name, likely high draft picks to not play in their bowl games. Do you remember at the time your reaction? Were you like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was absolutely asinine to me. I was like, what are we doing with our lives now? Is this what we've come to? People don't want to play.
So these are the questions you asked them at the combine, I would imagine.
Yeah. No.
And what did they say?
I don't know if we interviewed those guys because they were top 5 picks and we were had Adrian Peterson at the time. So
yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to take a running back with our first round pick.
But these are conversations you probably had during the draft. Oh my gosh, look what Devo's been doing. So that's a great picture, by the way. You're like a movie star. If you're listening to the audio version,
did you know that Hallmark is actually shooting a movie on the island? And someone called me last night. Again, I was in bed by 9:15, snoring. It's 3 sheets to the wind, or whatever you want to refer to.
That means you're drunk. Were you drunk?
Oh, that doesn't mean you're sleeping?
No, 3 sheets to wind means you've had too many pops.
Well, that wasn't the case. So I wasn't.
You were sawing logs.
But I was sawing logs in La La Land, Dreamland, whatever you want to call it. I was out. I checked my phone this morning, and there is a bar restaurant on the island called Doc Ford's, which is a very popular place to go on the island. And the whole cast from the Hallmark movie crew, including the actors, were at that bar last night. So I was getting like texts from people that I know. You need to get down here.
You missed your chance. You missed your chance.
That was my chance to excel from this podcast into Hallmark movies. And just like that, I slept through my opportunity.
You could have done a cameo. You could have worn your With the First Pick shirt. Everything could have been coming together perfectly for us.
And I could have tried to talk them into actually having us do the podcast as part of the movie.
Can you imagine a With the First Pick draft Hallmark movie? If you were listening to the audio version, Debo has been dutifully taking the last 5 minutes to make a Photoshop of Rick's beautiful face getting mayonnaise dumped on him from the Mayo Bowl.
Ugh.
Here we are, #1 overall pick odds. Caleb Williams -500.
So why would I bet $1 and lose 500? It makes no sense.
Because he's going to go first overall.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not making that bet.
Well, I think the Jaden Daniels, we talked about the Heisman last week, and you had Michael Penix Jr., which I actually like that pick. But Jaden Daniels, I think, got to minus 1,400, but it was such a sure thing that you wouldn't do it. But I think people probably felt pretty comfortable because you sort of knew what was going to happen. There was no real uncertainty. So, you bet minus 1,400 to win what? 100? Is that how it works, Steve-O?
Yeah. Well, you guys got it. I mean, Rick, put up $100,000 and you win $20,000 if Caleb Williams goes number 1. That seems worth it if you're that sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take $100,000, which apparently you guys have not seen my bank account. Then I actually was homeless for a year and unemployed and barely, getting through life. But $100,000 to win how much?
20K.
20,000. So, but if I lose 100,000.
You're not going to lose.
Take that minus 20. So in essence, I'm down $80,000.
You're not going to lose. Trust me.
I get my 100,000 back, or how does that work, Devo?
Oh gosh, Devo, you have to explain this part to him every time.
Yes.
Yes. So
I like the better odds. I'd rather put $1 to win $400 on a Drake Maye or $1 to win $2,000 on Marvin Harrison.
Yeah,
Jr.
but people say that because they like the return, but those are longish and longer odds, and that's the whole point. So you're basically
the point is I bet every horse in the Kentucky Derby to win.
Oh, okay. I see. How much money do you end up making
on every horse to win? And if a long shot wins, one year I won at gross minus net, I won like $140.
Okay, in 1 year. You do this every year?
Yes.
On average, what happens? Do you lose money or make money if you average it out?
Well, I always win.
Oh, why doesn't everyone do that then? That seems like that's a loophole.
I don't win money. I lose money, but
he loses overall. His net is a big loss. But
gotcha. Okay,
I could say I pick the winner of the Kentucky Derby. That's
right. I see you. Right, you got you. I got you.
The NFL draft doesn't work like that. This is not 2022 with Trayvon Walker, which was a year with no quarterbacks, where Trayvon at one point was 40-1, and that would pay off. There's no chance this year.
Right. I think that's right. All right. So you to get back to the original conversation, you could not wrap your brain around the idea of a player, no matter how highly they were going to get drafted, not playing in a bowl game. And then the floodgates have opened. And your biggest fear is one less game to evaluate. Is that what it is, or is it anything else? Competitiveness? What is it?
It's a combination of everything.
Okay.
And it's, it's old school. Go out with your brothers one more time. Win one for the Gipper, whatever you want to refer to. Do one for the old podcast on With the First Pick.
There you go. That's the only reason you should play.